Here I was placing my value on him, trusting him. We have that sense of I get you and I got you, mutual respect, that sense of accountability that you know what, you are not here alone. You have me to help you. And I know that if I need you, you are going to be here to help me.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Academy podcast with the #1 international best-selling author and multi-award winning success and life coach, Kamil Shah. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking this opportunity to grow together with me, Kamil Shah, and my guests on this program. Each episode of the Academy podcast is filled with insights and wisdom from my guests, which I believe can have a profound impact on the way we live our lives. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Academy podcast with Kamil Shah. I hope you're doing really well wherever you are tuning in, wherever you are on the planet, whatever you're doing. If you're out exercising, on your commute to work, on the treadmill, doing chores, or just getting into the office, whatever it is that you're doing, I hope you're doing well. And as you're tuning in today, we have another special guest. Joining me today is Amirah Gilani. Amirah is a youth coach who offers a helping hand to people who feel lost and or curious about tapping into their limitless potential. She does this by awakening their inner spark. Having gone through a period of personal transformation, Amirah was able to understand her belief systems, values, emotions, and most importantly, she came to realizing her true self. With this calling, her mission is to help others become the person they have always known themselves to be by showing up for themselves authentically and unapologetically through radical self-love and acceptance. Welcome, Amirah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Again, Amirah, I'm just going to give a bit of a backstory to people tuning in. This is our nth conversation together, and we've been in touch. So first time that we met was through, I think it was one of the webinars I initially hosted at the beginning of the pandemic, I think. Yeah. So at that time, I think I was quite intrigued and curious because you were quite passionate about asking questions and, engaging in the webinar. And I was like, who is this person? And then, I just got in touch with you. I got really intrigued and we've connected since. And so just giving people a bit of a backstory of how we came about knowing each other. And I don't want to give too much away. So I want to bring you right in right now, Amirah, and just tell us about your story.
All right. So, I am a social butterfly, and you know this through the first time that we met. I was here asking questions and engaging in the conversation. And ever since I was a kid, I've always held on to this love of faith, and it's because my mom has been my biggest inspiration throughout my years. Ever since I was a kid, she's taught me a certain code of ethics, certain attributes and values that I use as my foundation for living today. And so, the pandemic started and I was home alone. We were home, nobody to talk to. And so it was getting a bit frustrating for me because me as a complete extrovert, I was always out there, putting myself out there, getting myself out of my comfort zone. And so, it came as a bit of a surprise to me because, okay, we are just heading into summer vacation. What am I going to do for those 2-3 months? And so I was pretty lost. I'm not going to lie. I was very, very lost with regards to who I was because, without communicating with other people, I felt like, who was Amirah? Amirah was nobody. And this triggered a lot of different things that happened during my childhood that I didn't know that even existed. And they started to surface. And I think I spoke to you about it before, and I told you that it was a condition called misophonia. And it was where I started to notice these sounds that most people wouldn't even take note of. Somebody chewing, somebody dragging their furniture, or somebody clicking a pen or tapping their nails on the table. And these certain things would provoke emotions within me. And these weren't like, happiness and all bubbly and cheerful Amirah. No. these were sadness, this was anger, this was, just that general feeling of being lost. Like I didn't know who I was anymore. And so, I'm like, I don't like this, Amirah. I don't like this person. And that night, I remember I prayed and I said, you know what, God, you're going to help me. I am not going to stay in this position for the rest of my life. Something needs to be done about it. And that's when I started to get into this personal development even deeper. I started to pray more, I started to journal, meditate, talk to different people. And with time, it reduced. And I started to understand who I really am. When I went inside of myself and I said that, okay, you know what, this is what Amirah likes, this is what Amirah doesn't like, this is who she is as a person, these are the qualities that she has, these are the attributes that she would like to portray. This was me starting to accept and acknowledge who I am. And therefore, I started to portray myself as the vision that I saw who I was. Yeah.
That's interesting. That journey is really interesting. I think people tuning in might be able to relate in some sense, because I guess the pandemic really brought to surface a lot of the things that even for myself, the ability or the kind of the space to notice things that I have not been paying attention to. And so I think that was an opportunity for a lot of people to first to acknowledge and understand what was going on. And second is, if you are aware enough, you actually start to take the steps, right, to address those things.
Absolutely.
But it is a challenge sometimes. People don't actually, they want to fall back to the previous self rather than taking that as an opportunity to say, okay, what is it that's going on and how can I address it? From what you've just said, just right there, is that you've taken that period of being able to notice and acknowledge these things and to do something about it. If you don't mind, just give us a bit of an insight in terms of moving forward from that point of view, understanding and having that awareness of, who is Amirah really? Because you said that, I don't like this version of Amirah. Who is Amirah really?
Yeah. So this journey through misophonia really, really sparked that who is Amirah. Every time I got triggered by a certain sound, I would take note of it. I was always writing stuff about stuff that I noticed. If somebody was chewing food and that irritated me, I would take the time at the end of the day, or I would excuse myself from the table and be like, you know what, I need some space. I need some time to take care of myself. And I would go and I would write down what it was that I was feeling. And because for so many years, I have learned to write things down as a way of expressing who I am, it came to me very, very easily. So let's say, for example, somebody was chewing something and I wasn't particularly happy about it. And it provoked a sort of sadness within me. I would stop, I would excuse myself, and I would go to my room. And I would sit down, take a book, take a pen, and start to write about it. I am feeling sad because XYZ happened. Then I would ask myself, why has it triggered this emotion within me? And I'd be like, because it was irritating me. And then I'd ask myself again, why was it irritating me? And then as soon as I got that answer, I'd ask why, and then why again. So, it's that why benefactor that comes into play where, you're challenging yourself to use that active memory. And I think after about 10, 15 whys, I know that is a long process, but after that number of whys, I start to see that, okay, you know what? This is the core emotion as to why my sadness is this way, because I don't feel loved. I don't feel like I'm enough. I don't feel worthy. And once I was able to kind of acknowledge that, I searched YouTube videos on I am enough, I am valued, I am this, I am that. And I started to listen to all these meditations that were right down that alley. I remember printing so many affirmations, and they were literally stuck around my room. Every morning, I would read them out loud. In the bathroom, in the mirror, they were there. Even if I felt like, you know what, today I don't feel beautiful, I would purposely make that effort to say, I am beautiful, I am wonderfully made, I am made in the image and likeness of God, and nobody can downgrade that. Even on the days where I felt like I wasn't myself, it's not like, I went back into that cave of, that hermit mode cave, that, I am not worthy, I am not this, I am not that, because then I knew that, I wasn't going to progress. Yes, it was a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it was worth it.
That's really powerful what you've just mentioned about the power of affirmations. And for the benefit of people who are new to the concept of affirmations as everyone's at a different stage of their lives. I got into knowing about affirmations, late in my late 30s. I mean, in understanding what it really was. I
Yeah.
was practicing it, right? I was practicing it before, but I didn't know what it was until I actually studied it and its effect and its potential. There's actual science behind it, right? So, which I only got to know about the science later on after I investigated and studied it a bit more. Power of affirmation and self-talk and what we project out or what we think. On that, can you explain a little bit more about affirmations and how you've used it to improve your life?
Yeah, of course. So for me, affirmations are just positive statements that I say to myself. Right now, as I sit here on my desk, I have a whole vision board that is full of affirmations. Whenever I'm feeling low, whenever I'm feeling like I'm not using my productivity or I'm not using myself to the best of my ability, I start to read them. I can even read one out for you. For example, I'll say here when I'm worrying about something because I'm very, very impatient, I will look at this and I'll be like, I am relaxing into the unknown and trusting that everything is aligning in my favor. And that is something that is very, very powerful to me because I know the level with which I have that impatience. So when I started to read all of this, it was kind of like, okay, I know I'm not, to an extent, I'm not that beautiful, but I said it anyway, because to an extent, my conscious mind was kind of contradicting it, but my subconscious mind was more powerful than that. So, it was kind of like a game that it was playing back and forth until I think, I made that conscious effort to say, you know what, I am beautiful. And I made it and I affirmed it and I was bold making that statement. And once I got comfortable talking these words, even though sometimes I knew that I didn't mean them, or sometimes I knew that they weren't true, with time, I learned to accept that, you know what, this is actually who I am. I am beautiful. I am clever. I am divinely guided. And so, these are just some of the very, very many that affirmations that there are in this world. And you can use them to improve in your grades. You can use them as a means of thankfulness, and you can use it as a means of manifestation when people get into the law of attraction and stuff like that. So personally, to me, words of affirmation have been one of the most influential things in my life that have acted as a catalyst to my transformation.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And I think that it'll be useful for people who are new to affirmations and want to start the journey into looking into affirmations and start to practice affirmations. And like you've mentioned there are many ways, to put them on the wall, put them on places where you can see them as
Yeah.
soon as you get up, in the bathroom, on the fridge, wherever it is, something that
Yeah.
reminds you on a daily
Yeah.
basis. If you don't mind sharing a few of your favorite ones, you've mentioned one there just now, some of the favorite ones that you go back to on a daily basis.
All right. So they're actually here on my vision board. So I can just read them out
Awesome.
to you.
Just yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So first is I am always protected, because you know that I'm an empath and I absorb a lot of the emotions. So when I say this, I am always protected, it means that I am affirming to myself, I'm making a bold statement that, you know what, nothing can come, nothing harmful is able to touch me, nothing harmful is able to come to me. That is the first one. The second one is I deserve abundance, because before I had a very scarce mindset, but now it's changed into that form of abundance mindset. The third one is I am open and ready to receive miracles, because I am somebody who loves to get out of my comfort zone. I am not somebody who just likes to stay stagnant. I like it when different opportunities come to my way, because this is actually one of the greatest opportunities that I've been given, because I feel it happened because I've been reading all these affirmative statements every day. And then the fourth one is I am divinely guided in all areas of my life.
Well, I love that. I love all of them because they all have specific roles to play at different times when we need them. So I think that's really useful to share with us. So thank you for that, Amirah. It is related to self-talk and how we speak to ourselves, and it's also related to perception as well. And it got me thinking about there's a famous quote by this American sociologist, Charles Horton Cooley, and I'm
Yep.
sure you've heard about this before. And I'm just going to read it out for people tuning in. I'm going to read it out slowly, and I'm going to read it out a few times over and over again because it's slightly complex if you're listening to it first time. Okay. Charles Horton Cooley, who is an American sociologist, he says that I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Okay. I'm going to read it one more time. I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am. I am who I think I am. Right? In a sense, it's capturing that complexity of how we perceive ourselves. It's saying that for the most of the time, we don't see ourselves as the way that we see ourselves. We don't see ourselves as what we think other people perceive ourselves. We see ourselves as what we think other people think about us. So it's like that double, triple, perception that we see our value as what we think other people think about us. And that's the complexity of our own identity sometimes, that we have this layer of, when we talk about self-worth, for the most part. I was having this conversation today and even yesterday about how do you value yourself, and we were talking about in the context of jobs. When we go into jobs and we go in for interviews, and we value ourselves by, I'm not going to take that job if it's paying less than X amount, right? So immediately we value ourselves on dollar signs. And that's a really interesting way of looking at it. How do we value ourselves? And we value ourselves differently in different circumstances. And is that a right way to approach things? Or is it healthy to value ourselves in material things? So yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
Kamil, every time we decide to jump on a Zoom call, something will happen during the week and I will make a mental note of it and I will rehearse it and rehearse it. I'm going to be like, this is ingrained into my brain. There's no way I'm going to forget this. So to answer your question, I believe that to an extent, it is true. I'll give you an example that happened literally a week ago. So I have this program, this course that I was doing for my pre-university requirements. And so normally what happens is 70% of our grade is part of coursework. 15% is a culminating activity, which is a massive project that we do that kind of sums up all that we've learned throughout the term. And then the other 15% constitutes the final exam. And so this was literally the day before the exam. I was getting this culminating activity done. And you know me, how I like to go, I like to go overboard with things. I don't like to, present small. I like to, show who I am as a person. So, we had to either create a presentation or make a website to demonstrate the artwork that we did. And so I said, you know what? I am not making a presentation. I am going full on with the website and I'm going to do it. Yes, it's my first time doing it, so I'm going to do it. And I remember it was 4 hours before the deadline and my laptop starts to freeze. Most of the work is done. The images aren't moving. There are texts that I need to place in accordance with the images. So I'm like, okay, Amirah, calm down. What am I going to do? And so the first thing that comes to mind is call a friend. And I have a really, really good friend. And I think I can call him my best friend. And so that's the first thing that goes to my mind. And so, I call him and I'm like, look, dude, I really need your help. I'm panicking. This thing is due in 4 hours. I need your help. So he's like, Amirah, calm down. What is it you need me to do? And I said, look, I'll give you my login credentials. I just need you to move the images around and add for me some the text. I'll type it in for you. You just copy and paste it. And so, I heard that there was some noise in the background. I didn't realize that he was in a meeting. So he's like, okay, you know what, Amirah, calm down. In the meantime, let me finish my meeting and I'm going to call you back and we're going to do it together. So I said, okay, cool. So in the meantime, I was just doing my other work. I was studying for the exam. I put my phone down after calling him. And 2 minutes later, he sends me a message and he's like, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, I thought you said you have a meeting. So finish your meeting and we'll get onto it. So he's like, no, I have a few minutes of break. Just tell me what you need to do. Stop with all the semantics. So I'm like, all right, fine. This is what you need to do. Yeah, he's very direct with me and I love that. So, I sent him the credentials, and I literally took a photo of my board, and I like started to draw with like fatty fingers, and I'm like, okay, this place this image here, place this image here, and place this image here, and then I'm going to send you the text. And so, we were talking back and forth and doing it back and forth for like, I think almost half an hour. And so you see, the thing is that I was placing my trust in him. I was placing my value on this assignment, that if I didn't get this thing done, I was going to belittle myself because I know how much I've worked on that project. And fact of the matter is, he saved my grade. I'm not even going to lie about it. He was there and he helped me. And the thing that really, really touched me was that later on, he told me, okay, you know what, Amirah, I'm sorry if I'm not doing anything. And I wish I could have more time with you, but I have 2 tests to study for tomorrow. I'm really, really sorry, but this is the best that I can do for you. And the thing is, in that half an hour to 45 minutes that he was helping me, he did not even mention once that he had 2 tests the next morning to study for that he was going to attend. Here I was placing my value on him, trusting him to get my work done. But he didn't tell me that he had tests. And so, me, I'm like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, because you needed me. And if you need me, I'm going to be there for you. Now, where I'm going with this is that we have that sense of, I get you and I got you. It's that sense of mutual respect, that sense of accountability, that you know what, you are not here alone. You have me to help you. And I know that if I need you, you are going to be here to help me. Of course, that is placing our values on each other. But to be honest, I have always felt that take help whenever you feel that you need it. And if I didn't ask him for help, trust me, I wouldn't have gotten that 4.0 GPA that's sitting on my report card right now. So kudos to him, honestly.
Awesome. Great,
Yeah.
great story. And, thanking him for being there, and a really powerful, a few things that I want to pick up there. The first thing is the last thing that you mentioned there about seeking help when needed. And for me, again, some of the conversations I've had, and, just looking at life stories, people's life stories, and it is a challenging thing to do, to be able to come to a point where you are able to say to yourself, I need help, because for the most part of the time, the ego comes into play, and the ego is saying, nope, I'm fine, I'm okay, I can do it on my own. And the fact of the matter is, sometimes you can't do it on your own. And I've gone through the similar situation in the past where, the ego is saying, nope, I'm a man, I can do it, I don't need anyone else. And I was suffering. To be able to say, look, I can't do it, I need your help, is challenging for people. And I know people who till this day will not accept assistance because of and help, because I'm not saying help in the sense of I need help with a bit of work or whatever it is. It's much deeper. I need help because I need to talk to someone about where I'm going with things. It's that kind of conversation that I'm talking about. And, because the ego is still there coming into play. And, Wayne Dyer says ego is edging God out, almost kind of saying, I don't need anyone's assistance, including a higher power, right? So that's something that I want to pick up on that you mentioned right there. The other thing is you mentioned about kind of being at university at the moment. And, I want to bring that in because that's something that people tuning in don't really appreciate, that you are still in education. You still got classes, you're doing all of this stuff, right? All this stuff. And, you still have, you're still in education. I just want to kind of ask you about your relationship with your friends, and how have your friends reacted to the fact that you're now into personal development, and how have they welcomed you on your journey?
Yeah. So, I've always had friends who are older than me. Always. There has never been a time where I have a friend who's like younger than me. Okay, some of them are younger, but I think it's because I matured at a very, very young age. And, I saw that I need to build a life out of myself, because my mom has always advocated that this is your life, Amirah. Either you take control of your life or other people are going to take control of it. So, I've always tried to make my social circle people who are going to be supportive of me. Of course, you have arguments and you have these silly fights, and, they feel that, I am better than you. So you know what? We shouldn't be friends anymore. It's not like I haven't encountered that at all. I have. In fact, just last month, coming to think of it. But then again, it's about placing that sense of respect for yourself. That if somebody is not giving you that sense of mutual respect, if somebody is not going to help you in your personal development, why should I give you time of day? you know and I have had to let go of a lot of friendships that I thought would have lasted forever, to be honest. And they have gone on for 4 years, and I've had to let go of them because I have known my worth. Coming to my friends supporting me, again, it leads back to that sense of them creating a safe haven for me to come and say, you know what, guys, I feel like I'm struggling and I need help. And funnily enough, I was actually just talking to my best friend on call actually yesterday. And, he was like, it's another best friend. And he's like, Amirah, you do all of these things, but you don't allow anybody to help you. Why don't you let me help you? And so, I said, he knows I'm a very independent woman. I like to get these things done the way I want them to be done. Because if I place these something in somebody else's hands, I know that, something or the other is gonna mess up, and then I'm gonna have to intervene and then, get it done. And so, he said that, you know what, Amirah, you don't have to go through this alone. It's not that I want to go through this alone. Sometimes I do need my space, but fact of the matter is my friends do give me my space, and they have created that place for me to be comfortable, to express my cheerful, bubbly, crazy, psychotic self. And you know what, they allow for me to do that, and I allow for them to do that. And with regards to personal development, oh my god, they're like in awe. Like, my best friend was literally calling me today, and he's like, you know what, Mira, how do you manage all of this? And my mom and me are the same. We cannot do one thing for like long periods of time. We need to do like 5, 6, 7 different things during the day. And for me personally, the friends that I have built around me now, I have like maybe 10 close friends, I can say. And that, if I called them and said, look, I need help, they would drop everything and be there for me. And the same goes for me. If they called me to say, you know what, Amirah, I need you today. I'm not going to say, oh, I have meetings scheduled. I have this to hand in. I have that. I'm going to say, you know what, we are going to meet up during the weekend. I don't care what you say. I have like cleared my schedule for you. And it's that sense of, again, it leads back to that sense of accountability and that sense of mutuality. And again, that sense of I get you and I got you. So for me personally, they are in complete support of my spiritual development, of my religious development, of my personal development. And for me to do service to myself, service to others, and service to humanity.
Wow, I love that. I love that what you mentioned there about being able to be strong enough to reflect on your associations. What I mean by that is who you associate yourself with. I remember my own self during kind of high school, university years, there's a lot of pressure, especially peer pressure, to fit in, to be able to, say, look, I want to be part of, the group, and to
Yeah.
do things so that you kind of fit in. But to be able to
Yes.
stand back and say, look, I'm conscious of my associations, and I'm the stage where I have to disassociate myself with certain people and certain groups because it's not
Yeah.
aligning with what I want to do. That is really powerful. That is really strong. So, I just want to say to you, Amirah, that's really strong of you just to be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
well done to get to that stage.
Thank you. No,
um,
it's been a very lengthy process. Okay, right now I literally have like 4 people that I can talk to on the daily, and 2 of them are feminine, 2 of them are masculine. So there is like a complete balance. So I don't feel like I'm going over the edge or I'm going crazy. I am crazy, but just leave that bit. But yeah. So yeah, I think I've created a life where I have that ability to pick and choose what it is that I want. Again, referring back to what my mom said, either you control your life or you're going to live your life according to what other people want you to live your life to.
That's really powerful reminder. Then I really appreciate you reminding us of that. One of the advice which I wished I had gotten way back in my own life was to be able to be conscious of, to say that I want to plan my life because, as the saying goes, if you don't have a plan, you're highly likely you're going to fall into somebody else's plan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So to be conscious of that on a daily basis, saying, look, what is aligning with what I want to do? Even before that, to be able to say,
Yeah.
look, what do I want? What do I want?
Yeah.
Right? To be able to ask yourself that question. Most people don't ask themselves that question. What do you want in life? Because until you ask yourself and really interrogate what you want in life, you're not able to go to the next step, which is to to do all the other things that you talked about. Aligning yourself, disassociation,
Yeah.
association,
Yeah.
and all the other bits and pieces that come into play. So yeah, thanks for reminding us about that. And I love what you mentioned, that I get you and I got you. I love that. If you don't mind, I'm going to use that in one of my quotes. I love that. I love that. It's so powerful. So simple,
Yeah.
yet so powerful.
It's so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Amirah, again, going back to your mission, as Gary Vee says, wherever you are in life, you still got a long way to go. If you're 40, plus 40 like myself, I've still got a long way to go. If you're 60, whatever it is, wherever you are, don't think
Yeah.
that it's you're late. You're just beginning, right? So
Yeah.
from your point of view, at your stage right now, what would you say is your mission that you would want to achieve in your life?
That is a very, very challenging yet very inspiring question, because for lately I've actually felt like I am not showing up as the Amirah that I know myself to show up as. And when you ask such an empowering question, like, what is my purpose? How am I going to let the universe serve through me or as me? Not a lot of people have the courage to do that. In fact, 2-3 months ago, I didn't even have the courage to ask such a question until, I looked at my life and I said, Amirah, what are you doing with your life? And, I know that, you and I have been constantly just going back and forth about the program that I wanted to launch. And, it's been over a year now and it's still there. I have not launched it. I have not done anything with it. But like I said before, I'm a very impatient person, but the fact that I've literally held on to this for more than a year shows that, what, I want this to happen. So leading back to that program is, I don't want to launch the entire thing right now. I want to do it bit by bit, because for me personally, if I do everything once, nothing's going to turn out the way I want it. So, it's about taking that step by step. For me personally, ever since I was a kid, I have always known that I am here to serve. It goes like this: service to the self, service to others, and service to humanity. Right now, I have already achieved that service to the self. I have already achieved service to humanity, service to others, sorry. Now it's time for me to step out of my comfort zone, out of the service to others comfort zone, and look at how I can globalize myself. How can I make that positive impact that I'm always telling people that, what, I want to be the change that people are going to see, and that people are going to see and say that, what, she had a dream and she put it into play. Even though, it took some time, it is still here. It is up and running. And so, with regards to the program and whatever, I am launching it. I spoke to Mom and I've spoken to you, and, I've spoken to a lot of different people about it just to, get some insight. And for me personally, with my mindfulness coaching and being a youth coach, it's scary because, people are going to look at me and say, what, she's 17. Either they're going to be like, they're going to be very profoundly interested. They're going to be like, she's 17. What does she know? She's not had any experience. But for me, I'm choosing to go through the positive way. Yes, it is very scary. And I was actually contemplating about it today morning. And I'm like, oh my God, what if something goes wrong? What if this happens? And, that was my ego kind of, wanting to take that back. And, I stepped up and I said, no, you know what? I know you're scared, but this is you showing up for yourself, for others, and for the world, authentically and unapologetically. So this month, my DIY project, I am launching my professional coaching, and it's going to be on a global scale. And in the summer, like we talked about, I'm going to combine it all and put it into one carefully calibrated program. And that's going to be my summer project, because I know I'll be free and I don't like to be free. So, I need something to do. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. I'm really really, really inspired and enthused by that. Really looking forward to what you've got in store for everyone. I love the way that you've just described there about service to yourself, service to others, and service to humanity. And I think that's really a noble thing to do, a noble thing to
Yeah.
do and to be inspired about. So thank you for sharing that with us. The other thing I want to ask is, if you don't mind just sharing, before I ask that question, I just want to kind of just mention that, the idea of having the mission,
Yeah.
and sometimes it does take time to mature, and that's
Yeah.
okay. What you're saying there is, you have this idea, this goal, but sometimes it does take time, and it's okay to allow it to mature.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are a bit impatient that, it has to be done X, Y, Z, it has to be done today, tomorrow, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Other things come into
Yeah.
play, and, to be able to sit back and reflect, okay, maybe now's not the time yet. It still
Yeah.
needs a bit of time, but it will show up eventually. And I think that's
Yeah.
something that's inspiring. You have this ambition, this goal to achieve that end point,
Yeah.
and allowing yourself to get there gradually, like you say, step by step, bit by bit, rather than doing it fast and quick, and not
Yeah.
really allowing it to mature. I think that's a wise thing to do, to allow it to mature, to get to the point where it needs to get to. So I think, yeah.
Definitely.
So awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. The one thing that I want to come back to was about the course itself. If you don't mind just sharing with us that idea that you had when we had that conversation last year.
Yeah. So it's called Soul Sparks, and it embodies the four higher vibrational energies that constitute joy, love, peace, and harmony. Um, these are the main modules, and under them we have these subcategories. So I can just give a brief introduction to what each of these entails. So the first one is joy. So it focuses on rewiring your subconscious mind. Neurons that wire together fire together. And that's a saying that's gone around for so many years now. So it's about changing those habits of yours, changing those certain paradigms to achieve a sense of, I don't need somebody to make me happy. I don't need an achievement to make me happy. I can be happy on my own. That is joy. The second aspect is love. When you're talking about love, you're talking about developing that strong sense of respect towards yourself, that you start to understand that, no, you know what, hold on, I deserve to be filled the same way that I pour. I deserve to be filled. It's not about what can you do. It's not about what can you do for me. It's about what can I do for you. You cannot love somebody else if you don't love yourself, and that is joy. That is love. Sorry. The third aspect is peace, going with the flow. That even if something doesn't work out your way, you're starting to look at it as a blessing. That, okay, you know what? Maybe this thing didn't work out for me at this point in time because, like you said earlier, I have to give it time to mature. I have to give it time to contemplate more about it. See that, okay, you know what? Maybe something like this isn't meant for the world right now because of my crazy schedule. But it's also believing and having that strong sense of faith that, you know what, I have faith and I believe that if I talk about it, if I talk to it, it is going to happen. And if I talk to it and if I talk about it whilst I'm in this constant state of flow, or this constant state of inner peace, I know that something is going to happen. And then the fourth aspect is harmony. Initially, I was calling it enlightenment, but you know how people are about enlightenment. It's a big word, and people have very, very many opinions about it. So, I call it harmony now. And it's once you start to combine the joy aspect, the feeling of love, and the state of peace, there is nothing else for you. You are living your best life. You are living in harmony with the universe. And that is what the program is going to be when it is launched fully. As of now, it is in my coaching, when I'm coaching kids, when I'm coaching teenagers, when I'm coaching young adults, I incorporate bits and pieces of those aspects into that coaching. So it's not like it's entirely lost. It's not like it's entirely stagnant. It's me starting to understand that, okay, you know what? Hey, maybe I can apply this concept to this particular issue. Maybe I can apply peace to teaching somebody to have patience. For example, teaching myself to have patience, like I keep reiterating. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing that. I'm just realizing that we need to have another conversation because just in the last few minutes, there's so much in there. about Soul Sparks, and I'm just intrigued about the whole program. So hopefully,
Yeah,
maybe we can do another conversation on that. I'm really intrigued about that. Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of today's podcast. Anyway, we'll organize another conversation. Hopefully, we can cover
definitely.
that in the next episode. Hopefully. So, Amirah, before
Yeah,
we move on to the end of the podcast, as you know, we have the quick five question round. Are you okay to do this?
yeah. Why not? Let's be spontaneous.
Awesome. I love it. I love your energy. I love your energy.
Thank you.
So okay, Amira, question number one. What is your favorite word?
Ambidextrous.
Oh wow.
It just came to me.
Awesome. I love that word. Love that word now.
Yeah, now it's your new fave.
Okay, question number two. What are you currently reading or listening to?
I am reading. Yes, I'm reading Bird Summons.
Bird Summons.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have it there with you?
Oh wait, hold on. I think I have it. Yeah.
Just show it to the camera.
This is the book.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It incorporates an ample amount of spirituality, and how people can incorporate that into their daily lives, as well as the different combining different cultures and modernization of cultures. It's a very interesting read. I'm almost done.
Wow. By
Yeah.
Leila who's the author again?
Leila, yeah,
Leila
Abulela, yeah.
Abulela. Right.
Yes.
Awesome. So that will be on my list of books to read as well. So thank you for sharing that.
Awesome.
That's
Anytime you need some tips, just let me know. I have like an entire 5 bookshelves in the house,
Your own library. Awesome.
my own library. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So question number three. If you could meet someone either living or past, who would that be?
Michael Beckwith.
Oh, wow. Do you know what? The first time I heard Michael speak, I was listening to the Secret audiobook, audio version.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, who's this actor? Because the way that he speaks and he orates, wow, this is like a Hollywood film star, a really kind of engaging voice. And then I got to kind of read a bit more about him and the work that he does. So yeah, awesome. So what do you like about Michael and his work?
I love everything about Michael. He's like one of the very few people who have inspired me. I listen to him every single day. And I did this quest on Mind Valley, which is called the Life Visioning Mastery, where he embodies the eight principles of life, spirituality, ego, finance, education, just different stuff like that. And he helps you kind of formate a balance between all of that, which again leads to you living a harmonious life. I've read most of his books. I listen to him every day. He's the founder of the Agape International.
Yes.
I listen to him every day. I meditate with him every day. Oh my God, my day has to start with Michael Beckwith. Otherwise, my day has not started.
Michael, Amirah is a huge fan and a great follower for your work. So if you're listening to this, if you're tuning in, hopefully Amirah can sit down with you for a coffee and have a conversation about the whole thing.
A dream come true. We're going to start manifesting it right now, Kamil.
Awesome. I'm already picturing right now you having a cup of coffee, sitting at the table, wooden table, greenery around you. I don't know. This is my own vision. You can have your own vision.
Awesome.
Amazing. So Michael Beckwith, amazing. Cool. So question number 4. What advice would you give to the younger Amirah?
Follow your heart.
Wow. Awesome. That's
I just left you speechless there for like a few seconds.
Yeah, no, it's simple, and I'm just thinking about myself. When you said that, I was like, I'm grateful now that I can say that to myself right now. But looking back, that's really useful advice to give to a younger self. Just follow your heart.
Yeah.
Awesome. Question number 5. Final question. What can we expect from Amirah in the next 5 years?
A lot of things. For starters, I am done playing small. You're going to see Amirah on the billboards. You're going to see Amirah everywhere, making changes, being this boss woman who is all over the place, making positive impacts on people's lives, and living her best life. That is Amirah. But that is Amirah in 5 years.
Wow, I'm really excited now to see this, and I'm just giving you all my energy right now, and and thoughts to be able to manifest and achieve what you want to achieve and seek out. Because from the conversations that we've had, the big mission and vision that you have, be able to create change in your life, in other people's lives, and you mentioned about humanity as well. So
Yeah.
so hopefully, Amirah, when you're there, hopefully you can look back and say, Kamil, yeah, we had that conversation, and
Yeah,
hopefully
no, in
we
five
can
years,
come
I'm
back to
still
this.
taking you with me. I'm still taking you with me in 5 years.
Awesome. I'll be tagging along.
Yes, definitely.
Amazing. Amirah, this has been an amazing conversation. Just before we scoot off, how can people connect with you?
Via Instagram, just search Amirah Gilani and you'll find me, literally. And I have like a whole list of things that I am aspiring to be. So, you cannot miss my Instagram.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
again, we'll include the handle and any other handles that you want to include as well in the episode.
Yeah.
So folks, today that's it. That's all the time that we have in this episode. I'm truly grateful to be able to have this conversation with Amirah Gilani. This has been the Academy Podcast with Amirah Gilani. Just before we go, Amirah, any last words of advice to people tuning in?
Yeah. Be yourself, love yourself, know your worth, and again, follow your heart.
Awesome. Amazing. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next episode, peace and love from me always, and from Amirah.
Love to you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are. My sincere hope is that this episode has not only resonated with you, but also given you some invaluable tips and strategies to improve your life. Don't forget to share your comments with me. As you know, I love to hear your views. Also, remember to follow the Academy, follow me, my guests, and tag us on our social media handles, which will be provided in the description. Most importantly, please leave a review and let me know that you've heard this podcast and how it has impacted you. Until the next episode, stay safe, stay healthy, and peace and love from me always.